Has Tesla finally broken out of the range that it has been in? We've been waiting for it to break out for the last several days. It looked like it had been getting closer and closer, and today it looks like it has actually broken out to the upside. So let's take a look at why it broke out and where it's headed next. But before we do, remember, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. We are simply looking for patterns in the market. Do your own diligence before you make any trades. Only you can be responsible for pressing the buy and sell buttons. So, if you remember, we've been looking at Tesla in this range marked by the red. It's been in this range quite consistently the last, since the 14th of November. So, about a month now. And zooming out, we did have some trend lines we were also looking at. I'm looking at the weekly chart now. You can see this trend line at the top of these wicks here. And we even had another trend line loosely drawn also on the weekly, trying to account for this dip down to 200 back in October. So you could see that the price was getting smaller, getting into that wedge triangular formation, which indicates, look, there may be a breakout coming one way or the other. We don't necessarily know which way, but there should be one coming out. Also, when I look at this pattern here, here's another trend line that I could have drawn that would also put this in a range, a descending move down, something like that. It could have worked as well. Either way, it was pretty clear that the market was, at least Tesla, was getting constricted smaller, and smaller. So we were looking for a breakout out of this range, and it has broken out today. I'm on the weekly chart. Let me go back to the daily. After the FOMC minutes were released yesterday, you can see this morning it has broken out of this trend line, 247.11, and it had tested all the way up to 249. It has shrunk back down. Let's see if it will stay out of the range. Okay, that's what we want to see next. It's a good sign that it has broken the range. It's also a good sign that it's broken up if you're long, and the market seems to, after getting the FOMC minutes out of the way, seems like it still is on a positive note. So we'll see if it can hold above this range. That's what we want to see. If we see price come down back into the range, especially back into this trend line, and it forms a big wick on the daily, that will be some cause for concern for longs if you're short term. If you're a little bit longer term, a couple of weeks to a month, it won't be that much concern to see it break down here and then perhaps go back up in its move. Now, what we really want to see if you're long is you want to see this move on up and start testing this high. That's going to be the next big test for Tesla, is up in the 252 mark. That's the next short-term test. So you want to see the price to move on there. If it moves back down into this range again, you really don't want to see that. Let me draw a fib here from just this to here. Yeah, it could come on down to about this 62.8 mark here, or 61.8 mark. If it comes on down to here, not great concern. Short term, I'm talking short term now, you really don't want it to see it come back below this daily open that it made this morning. You want it to see it continue to move on up. Long term, goodness, who knows long term? I think long term, and when I say long term, I'm talking in the months. I still see if it can break out of this range, it's going to continue its move up. It's still in that descending pattern, but it looks like it could. This could be the day. We'll keep an eye on it for the rest of this week and next to see, hey, can price get on up here and start working its way up into 260? Again, if you're long on Tesla, that's what you want to see. All right, that's the update today. We'll keep an eye on Tesla. It's a favorite stock of mine to trade, so we'll keep an eye on it. Y'all come back for more updates on Tesla and more.